everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Sunday morning, about 10:30. Upstairs here with my friend Demetrius, who's at my feet. Maybe will make an appearance at the end of this video. If I can get him to stay here. Hope everybody's well today. Beautiful day. Going to be a scorcher out there today. Last week I mentioned my favorite Bills game that I've ever been to. Most exciting game, and today I was going to talk about the Buffalo Braves, basketball team that played here from 1970 to 1978. A lot of fun. I went to a lot of ball games when they were here. Very excited when the team came in 1970. A lot of growing pains. The first couple of years were pretty bad. Then they started drafting well and making some good trades. And by the time 73-74 season came, they were a pretty darn good team, making the playoffs in that year, thanks to mainly Bob McAdoo, who was kind of a freak of nature back then. 6'9", he played center on the team. Drafting out of North Carolina, they got him, and the guy could shoot the basketball like a guard. I mean, 6'9", nobody could guard the guy. I mean, he would stand out at the perimeter, and he would shoot the basketball from 20-25 feet. Now this was before the 3-point line was instituted. He would be constantly behind that imaginary line as it was then. If he played now in the modern era, the guy would have averaged 40 to 45 points a game. As it was, 73-74 season, he averaged over 30 points and 15 rebounds a game. It's never been done since. I mean, we're talking 46 years of NBA play. All your great players that have come and gone, and nobody has averaged 30 and 15 since then, and maybe nobody ever will. So that season was the first year the Braves made the playoffs. They went up against the Boston Celtics, of course, the New York Yankees of basketball. Countless championships, great players. So the Braves and Celtics met in the first round. The Braves, the young upstarts, the Celtics, of course, the veteran team. Game 1 in Boston. No playoff jitters for the Braves. They dominated the first 3 quarters and had a pretty sizable lead going into the fourth quarter, and of course blew it. They blew it. They couldn't hang on to it and ended up losing the game. And it was just aggravating to watch it. Game 2, they came home. They beat the Celtics, tied the series. Back then they alternated 1-1 and 1-1, not your 2-2, 1-1-1. As they do now in a best-of-7 series. But so they lost Game 3, came back for Game 4, and that's the game that I went to. It was a Saturday afternoon game. I went with a couple of high school friends. As I mentioned with the Sabres a couple of weeks ago, the playoff atmosphere is so much more different in a building than a regular season game. You can feel it. And a basketball game more so than even hockey. The atmosphere was electric in the place. I mean, it was just, the game went back and forth, and then in the third quarter, the Celtics started pulling away. In the fourth quarter, they continued, and they had a 10-point lead with about 9 minutes to play, looking to go up 3-1. And I thought, well, here we go, it's over with. But the Braves clawed their way back in. McAdoo was throwing in these rainbows from way out in the deep corner. The crowd was going nuts, and the Braves actually took a 2-point lead with under 30 seconds to play. Well, the Celtics got the ball back, and all the Braves needed was a stop. And of course, John Havlicek, the old man, used the backboard just about on every shot that he took in his career, and it was sickening because he would bank in these shots. He banked them in, he banked them in, he banked them in. Well, sure enough, he gets the ball, and he's going one-on-one, and he just throws up this running shot and banks banks it in perfectly. The game is tied, so the Braves get the ball back with, I think, about 4 or 5 seconds to play, and they inbound it quickly, and McAdoo throws up a very contested shot, and it hits the back of the rim. But Jim McMillan rises up above. I think Paul Silas may have been the Celtic defender, but McMillan jumped up over him and tipped the ball in at the buzzer, and the Braves won the game, 104 to 102. Never forget it. It was just incredible. I thought the auditorium was going to cave in. It was so loud. But so that was the most exciting Braves game I went to. I went to a lot of games. In fact, having season tickets, I split with my friends Tommy and Wayne and Pete and Joe in the last year of the Braves, maybe the second last year. So we went to a lot of games and had a lot of fun. But the Braves were great, and we missed them a lot. So next week I will talk about my favorite Bisons game that I went to. Since there's no Major League Baseball, we'll talk about a minor league game that actually the Bisons lost, but my favorite game that I've gone to. It was a great game. Little sidebar, talking about heroes of society. Friday at work, we had a lot of garbage. It was very busy. We had a ton of garbage, not only in our dumpsters, but off into our bulk area where there was several mattresses and a heavy table, etc., etc. Well, in the morning it was there, and at 20 minutes to 12 I came out to go to lunch, and all the stuff was gone. The place was entirely cleaned up, and I commented to my coworker Sean. I said, it's guys like this that are the real heroes of society. They go and they do their job quietly. They don't get any credit for it, but man, what a huge help and a huge blessing it was to us that everything was cleaned up, and they're just doing their thing. They're just doing their job, but a very important job. So I tip my hat to people like that. As you know, I'm for the lowly guy. I'm one of them, but for the people that just go out and do their jobs and are really underappreciated, I really appreciate you guys. So a tip of the imaginary hat to you guys, and let's see if we can get Demetrius to come on just for 1 minute with me to say hello to everybody.
There he is. There's my friend Demetrius, my favorite cat. Look at the camera, Pee-Pees. Look at that camera, Pee-Pees. Good boy. That's a good boy, that Pee-Pees. So there he is, my favorite cat. Love him to death. And I'm glad he finally made an appearance. Hope everybody has a good week. Be good to each other. Stay safe. God bless. Bye-bye.